Good morning. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. My name is Alex Matthew. With me is Cheryl D'Souza. Good morning to you as well, Cheryl. Let's take a check on how the markets are faring today. And in fact, it's a much prettier picture than it was in yesterday's session. In fact, to a certain extent, you can say that you can still see a little bit of consolidation in a few of the names on the Nifty 50. But by and large, it's quite a positive day of trade, especially after the first couple of hours of trade. About a 0.5% gain for the Nifty 50 at this point, and you have as many as 38 gainers on the Nifty 50. In fact, you have the likes of Divi's Lab, Bajaj Finance, Shree Cement, JSW Steel, Tata Consumer, ITC all gaining significant ground. You have a few auto names that were losing ground. In fact, some of them have actually reclaimed a little bit of lost ground, but Bajaj Auto continues to be the biggest loser on the Nifty 50 at this juncture. In terms of the sectoral indices, all of them are in the green. In fact, those that were displaying a little bit of weakness, that is the Nifty Bank and the Nifty Auto, which were trading about a 1/10% in the green or thereabouts and flat mostly, have actually gained a little bit of ground. In fact, the Nifty Bank is trading with gains of about 0.3% at this juncture. The real story continues to be in the broader markets, though, with both the small cap as well as the mid cap index gaining about 1% or more than 1% each. And that is reflective in the market breadth for the broader markets as well. You have 1,500 gainers, over 1,500 gainers, so nearly 5 gainers for every one loser on the in the broader markets, and that really is the story for today. It looks like it's going to continue to be a positive day, and that is a great Thursday in my opinion. Cheryl?
Good morning, Alex, and hope so that this turns out to be a great Thursday for us. Let's take a look at which are the stocks that are in focus in today's trading session. First up, I'll talk about JSW Steel. They reported their May the steel production data. So the crude steel production has risen by about 10% on a year-on-year basis. The average capacity utilization is at 91%, was at 91% in the month of May. Moving on, you have SAIL that is in focus. This is ahead of their Q4 earnings. So all eyes on Steel Authority of India. Reliance Power, that one has hit an upper circuit in trade today. The company's board is all set to meet on June 13 to consider raising of funds via issue of equity-linked securities. You have PTC India Financial Services, sharp drop coming in on that particular counter, and that is after their Q4, after their weak Q4 earnings. They've actually posted a net loss of 53.7 crore rupees in Q4 compared to 7 crore rupees profit last year. Also, the net interest income has also seen a decline for PTC India Financial, so that particular counter is under pressure today. Also, you have Acelia Solutions. That particular counter is declined by about 2% in trade. The promoter Acelia Group, Bidco, has proposed to sell up to 14.62% stake in the company via offer for sale that is going to be starting from today, and the floor price for that has been set at 910 rupees per share. So that is also one counter that is actually right now, if you can see, it's near its day's high. So these are the counters that are in focus. Apart from that, you have Bata that is in focus, Team Lease, Reliance, as well as Tanla Platforms. But apart from all of this, of late we've actually seen a sharp rally come in about in the sugar space, a sharp rally in the sugar stocks. We also have seen that the 20% ethanol blending has been brought forward to FY23. You have prices firming up globally on dry spells in Brazil as well as Thailand. You have ISMA that is expecting the sugar prices to remain firm till 2022 as well. So all these factors are actually aiding in the rally in the sugar stocks, if you see, Alex. And also we spoke earlier to Dwarikesh Sugar's Managing Director Vijay Banka, who believes that the sugar companies will be able to produce enough to match the consumption in a few years, as there are fundamental shifts happening in the sugar industry. However, he remains bullish that FY22 will be a good year for the sugar sector and much better than FY21. Listen in.
Announcement of ethanol blending up to 20% date being advanced to 1st of April 2023. Besides that, government has been continuously working on ensuring that the overhang of the stock is addressed. And on a long-term basis, the companies are able to, sugar companies are able to sacrifice the sugar production in favor of ethanol. So that the ethanol blending program has got the right impetus now. And we see going forward, a lot of capacity is being added. And in the times to come, maybe 2 to 3 years down the line, we may be able to see a happy situation where the sugar production is equal to sugar consumption. And thereby the overhang stock issues are addressed. We should see a reasonable stock levels of about 3 months or so stock holding as at the year end of the season. So all these augur well for the sugar industry in times to come. We've seen this big shift happening, and I think the momentum should sustain. FY21 was a reasonably good year for all of us, for most sugar companies. FY22 also should be a good year, or in fact a better year, more because
all right, so that is the management of Dwarike Sugar talking about the steel sector, sugar sector, I beg your pardon, and how it is going to be faring going ahead. Let's get on board our guests for today. We have Gaurav Bissa as well as AK Prabhakar joining us. Good morning, Gaurav, as well as Mr. AK Prabhakar. Thank you for joining us on Buy Now, Sell Now. But Gaurav, I'll come to you first. And how are the sugar sectors or other sugar sector stocks looking like at this point in time? Is it how are the charts looking? Do you think that this sort of a rally will be sustainable for the sugar sector?
Good morning. See, if you look at the sugar sector, after a brief period of consolidation, we saw a breakout happening a couple of months back. And after that, we saw again some sort of consolidation for the last few weeks. And then we again saw a bounce back. So what this generally means is that there's a good breakout, consolidation breakout. It's a continuation pattern. The trend is still intact. So that is something interesting to watch out for the reason that many of the sugar names have seen a swing break as well. Trend is expected to be strong. We can see more upside coming in the sugar sector. But that does not mean that one goes ahead and buys any sugar pack right away. But yes, that is definitely going to be a sector where a buy on declines would be very meaningful to add in a portfolio.
Fair point there, Gaurav. I want to go across to Mr. A.K. Prabhakar. Morning to you, sir. Just, speaking about the sugar sector, some people have said that this is a sector that is woken up after perhaps a decade or so. And a large part of that story is being attributed to the ethanol policy of the government, saying that it's now lucrative, perhaps more lucrative to produce ethanol than it is to produce sugar. And that is why people are saying that it is going to be a structural story as opposed to the cyclical story that it has been over the last, say, 4 or 5 years. Are you bullish still on the sugar sector, or do you think that one must approach it with a note of caution, considering that sugar prices continue to be largely regulated?
Good morning. There is a marked shift from what I've tracked in the last 30 years. So the ethanol story is something which I have not seen in the last 30 years, and it is playing out very well. And we need to understand, compared to the south-based or Maharashtra sugar mills, the extraction rate in UP also, which was below 10%, has gone to 11%. So that is also playing out. And government initiative of 10% ethanol in fuel in 2022 and 20% by 2023-24. Now that is also adding to more positivity to this sugar mills. Previously, the sugar mills were very high on debt. Now we have companies like Balrampur Chini, which has become debt free, and there are companies which have started to make free cash flows also. So in that part we like Balrampur Chini, Dhampur and Dwarkesh. Shree Renuka can be a turnaround story which can be high risk and high reward. That can be watched out for. But we need to understand there are few sugar south-based sugar companies where chemical is a major story for them. One is Andhra Sugar and the other one is EID Parry. So even if the consumption of sugar in India has not improved in the last 2 years, no, there is a ethanol story which is playing out, and it is a structural story which will be beneficial for these companies.
Mr. Prabhakar, a couple of points here. I just want to also ask you. Now, you have a situation where in Uttar Pradesh, the prices that are advised by the state advised price has not moved, and that has actually been a positive for those mills that you pointed out, considering the kind of extraction that they've seen in the recent past, and that I think is on account of the new seed that they started using in 2018. But specifically, if you talk about some of these sugar stocks, they are doublers, some have tripled, some have quadrupled. So, forgive the use of the pun, is there still juice in some of these stocks, or do you think that you should wait for a bit of correction before you add them to your portfolio?
See, we are in a bull market which we have not seen post 2008. So any small positive news also, it is flaring up. I think Balrampur Chini, in my view, has more potential from here also, because it is a debt-free company and it will be the major beneficiary of the reforms which is happening in the sugar sector. Other companies, you need to wait for some correction to buy, but Balrampur Chini at the current level also offers a lot of cushion at current prices. And even Andhra Sugar, if you see, their profit from sugar is negative. They are making losses in sugar. Their profit comes from other activities like power and your chemicals. So we need to be selective in our approach, but Balrampur Chini offers a very good entry point at current.
All right, so that's the view coming in on the sugar stocks, primarily Balrampur Chini as well as Andhra Sugar. But if you look at the sugar counters today, you have Bajaj Hindustan that is seeing that is actually hit its highest level since January 2018. You have Uttam Sugar that's climbing about 7%. Triveni Engineering is also seeing a sharp uptick. So all the sugar companies are definitely seeing a sharp uptick in today's trading session. But on that note, we'll slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. But stay tuned, more on the other side, so don't go anywhere.